Linda Maguire.
Si lui convient de refuser, rien n'y fait, menant son prière, ne parle bien l'autre se dit. Et c'est l'autre que je préfère, il n'a rien dit, mais il me plaît. Jamais connu de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Si je ne me prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, prends garde à toi.
Good morning.
Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, encore.
Music as medicine. Singing as medicine.
L'oiseau que tu croyais surprendre battit de l'aile et s'envola. L'amour est loin, tu peux l'attendre, tu ne l'attends plus, il est là. Tout autour de toi, vite, vite, il vient, s'en va, puis il revient. Tu crois le tenir, il t'imite, tu crois l'éviter, il te tient. L'amour est enfant de bohème, il n'a jamais connu de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Si je t'aime, prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime,
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so honored and thrilled to be here. Thank you, Karen, for bringing me here and being so hospitable. And I feel so at home. I feel like I know you all. Good morning, Saginaw. Women. Awesome. Woo! What a culture. What a town. I love it. Music as medicine. Prescription iPods. Welcome to the future. I was a professional singer for many years, had 10 managers, was all over the world leading title roles, recordings, recitals, radio broadcasts, whatever. I'm still doing it, obviously. That's good. I like it. Singing is it's recently been recognized as exercise, like real exercise, and a healthy, very healthy way to explore our own health and potential. What is singing? Well, you take a deep breath. You press it into the lungs. That puts oxygen into the brain. That's the primary fuel for the brain. The brain loves oxygen, especially during the day. At sleep, it's the lowest oxygen level. During REM sleep, it's the lowest oxygen level of the day when all the cleanup happens. All the A beta that causes the plaques, that contributes to plaque formation, all the consolidation of what you've experienced during the day happens during REM sleep, the lowest oxygen level of the day. When you wake up, 200 years ago, we wake up and we're like, whoa, where's the food? What's going to get me around that corner? Ooh, that's an interesting bug. I think I'll just walk away from that like this. So, evolution has brought us to the point where the brain really is fueled and feeds on oxygen. When dementia and Alzheimer's develops, oxygen is the last drop-off point in the brain, in the vascular system in the hippocampus. So when and anxiety moves in. Anxiety, the fear center of the brain, is very strong. It'll lock us up and we'll stop breathing. So that's one of the main points I like to put across as I'm getting my PhD in health and risk communication, aging brain health. So music is a part of it. What else is music? Music is free energy. Do you have to really do anything when I was singing that? No, you're just back and like, what is she doing? That is really... Unless you really don't like it, like, oh, please, shut this woman up. This is why I hate opera. So I will say that the speaking is a very teeny part of the brain. It's about the size of a quarter. And then making a sentence is a little bigger, but singing just under the brain scan, they found it activates many parts of the brain. So it's a messaging system. We invented speaking, but we started with like, whatever, to respond to the environment. And so we have refined that into songs. And when I sang that song, I got to repeat what I said, and every time I sang it, I said it differently. So my cognition, my opinion of the song and what it means grows every time I sing it. I have a church choir. I said, never sing Alleluia the same way twice. You are constantly growing in your own spiritual growth as you sing. So now it's your time to sing. So when I work with elderly patients, including those with dementia, and one of my favorite songs with them is Edelweiss. So we have kind of, the voice really breaks up into two parts, basically. Chest voice, Edel is a very big, important nerve called the vagus nerve in your chest, and you get to rattle it when you rattle your chest. And it's like shaking apples out of the tree. So and it connects to every organ in your body. And so when you or listen to an organ pipe that rattles it for you, when you're sitting in a church and the organ's playing a really low note, you can just feel it rattling, and you're like, oh, cellists get that experience, etc. So there's chest voice, la 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 la. Let's hear it. La. You can pat your chest and find more of that resonance. Oh yeah, getting there. And then the other voice I call the Julia Child School of Fine Voice. Julia Child School of Fine Singing. It's a funny little spot, but Julia lays the groundwork for us. We don't have to find it on our own. Edelweiss, right? And when that tone is making rattling, shaking the tissue, it's the pituitary gland. So when you sing a note like that and really you'll probably blush. It stimulates hormonal release. Like I say, it's like shaking apples out of the tree. Let's try it, Rick. We get to sing it twice. So you can hum along, Edelweiss. Every morning you greet me, pure and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. Edelweiss, Edelweiss. Every morning you greet really good. Sit up straight, long neck, loose neck, buoyant, and make it an exercise. Don't sing it the same way twice. And Edelweiss. Every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless thy homeland forever. Excellent. Oh, you're okay. What a choir. I love it. I love it. Well, excellent. We'll sing another one in a minute that will kind of build on that. So as I design interventions for Alzheimer's patients, I've just been certified to work with children with autism. What does music do for these patients? It normalizes them. How? Music is free energy. Now, when we're singing, we have to generate energy to sing. But at the same time, we're pressing that oxygen into the lungs, and we're stimulating tissue, either vagal tissue, Julia Child tissue. That's tissue too, in your frontal lobe. And it's very interesting. That's a whole different range and field and science as well. So what I do in my journey, last 18 years, I've been doing it full-time, a tremendous amount of sacrifice and commitment and investment in becoming a neuroscientist, a gerontologist, and applied behavioral analyst, and now a health communicator to be able to communicate these new changes, new ways of thinking about music and how it transforms us. So in the process, I've learned a lot about aging brain health. I know a lot, just about all there is to know. I'm not into the genomics of it, and they're not quite fully have their finger on it either yet. But I do know the basics, and that's what's going to help us have a better quality of life and better cognition, better function, better memory, better recall. In fact, recent science has shown that music with dementia patients in particular, they've lost what we have for the most part, able to remember what happened 5 minutes ago. But after listening to music, their narrative, it's like they have an involuntary, rich, complex, accurate, functional vocabulary. That they'll describe an old memory and then listen to the music, and then they'll describe it again, and it'll be a whole different picture, much better than the normal elderly. So, these hidden treasures that are in our brain that we don't really even recognize as we're, trying to micromanage life. Okay, so I have a acronym called BOAST, buoyant. The universe is expanding. We're a part of that expansion, but we live on a planet that makes us want to just collapse. But we can't do it. We have to ride the gravity. Buoyancy, oxygenation, activation, doing things, exercise, singing is an exercise, playing the piano is an exercise, gardening, etc. Is very, very important for brain health. While you're doing that activity, the oxygenation enables you to be aware of the sensory environment, the stimulation that informs brain networks. So garbage in, garbage out, content in, content out. And that enables a transformation. So BOAST, buoyancy, oxygen, action, stimulation, transformation. And there's music that will transform you too. Let's do the next one, Rick. You raise me up. Don't you now? Feel that buoyancy. Let the song raise you up. In your seat.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. When I am down and oh so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. More than I can be. You raise me up. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can I had at least one person singing along. Brava. Thank you. Here. Can you tell I'm sweating? Thank you, dear. So, a boast. And I'm writing a paper with my dissertation advisor, who is like world famous. He's like a guru in health science. And we've been working together. He has his own specialties. He's a great guy. Gary Krebs is his name. He's all over the world, written like over 60 books, and
has a little bit of time for me each week. So we're working on a paper. What are the risk factors for aging brain health, and how does music play into that? Like I say, music's free energy, the whole prescription iPod. My idea is a 24-hour YouTube channel that works with your circadian, your schedule of activities during the day. Get you out the door if it's time to take a walk. Get you prepared to put your tennis shoes on if you need to take a walk. And so it gets a little upbeat there, settled in the evening, little Chopin in the evening after dinner, and with nice cello music that settles that vagus nerve that gets you ready for sleep. So you don't have to say, oh, I've got to go to sleep. If I don't get sleep, no, the cello says, you're going to go to sleep because I'm going to talk to that nerve and just, jiggle it a little bit. And then even through the sleep cycles, even into REM sleep, low organ settled music you don't even aware is playing. And you can turn it off at any time, and it's progressive. So it starts with music you like or versions of music you like, and then it progresses. So if you like that, the piece I just sang, there are about 80 other pieces kind of like that you would also like, but you've never heard. So I introduce new music in these prescription iPods. My brother Michael, by the way, won a Tony Award. He knows how to work a microphone better than me. I rarely use a microphone, so I apologize if I'm bumping it here and there. So this paper we're writing, sleep is pivotal. Going into REM sleep, like I say, it cleans out that A beta. You know what A beta is? That's what clogs up and makes these plaques, so they believe. And that has to do with oxygenation. If you stop breathing, A beta is going to be produced. And then if you can't sleep, it's not going to get out of the system. That's basically the formula there. The tau, the other tangles that feed into the plaque formation, that I've discovered that has to do with hydration. We're 80% water. Where's that glass? There it is. Tank up. Stay hydrated. Okay, learn to drink, right? So, and if I did a huge paper at Hopkins with Marilyn Albert, who's a top leader in the field. Dehydration creates the clinical state of delirium, where you're confused, you don't know what's going on. That is mistaken for Alzheimer's. In fact, there's one of the psychiatrists, I was talking to Karen and her fiance, Jim, last night at the restaurant. I had a top geriatric psychiatrist. He joked once, I was talking about hydration. He said, oh yeah, we joke that it's not really the pill we give them, it's the water that they drink it with that helps the symptoms. He wasn't joking. He wasn't joking. Staying hydrated, oxygenated, hydrated. Okay, so sleep, oxygen, hydration, nutrition. We can live weeks without food, but we don't. But we can only live minutes without oxygen. So that's kind of the proportionality of what we need to focus on as we get older and older. We're a whole new generation, aren't we now? Wow, we're living a lot longer than people used to live. So what are the treasures of that? And how do we maximize that? That's what I do. Sleep, oxygen, hydration, nutrition, exercise, movement, right? All this research. The brain has no feeling. It's just in the dark up there. You can poke it. We know that. We know that we have brain surgery and people poke around, but with no anesthesia. There's no nerve network. It gets it all through the body. When I just did that, there's a brain network that's associated with that. So, oh, hey, that was fun. Huh? Do that again, huh? I'll remember that one. Tabba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, I'll put it into a sentence or a song, right? And then the three more. Relaxation. De-anxiety. Get rid of the anxiety. No spiders, snakes, or tigers in this room. Nothing going to fall out of the tree on me in this room. I don't have to, so I don't have to hunt something down for my dinner. So it's a very strong network, but we don't have to activate. We don't have to take the bait for the fear network, which creates anxiety. So relaxation, and then it's not just being relaxed, it's being, we add spirituality, the spiritual aspect of everything's okay, everything's good. I like this room, I like these people, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm not afraid. That's a big part of health. And I try to hang on to that for as long as I can until I get nervous again. Then I do repeat as necessary. And then at the end of that is what I call the DNA God. So at the DNA level, doing those things enables your DNA to unfold, unpack, enables your cells to stay, and your brain neurons to stay healthy and keep growing. So that's what the science supports, and that's why I'm here. Let's, how's our time? We're okay. Let's do the number 6. I think that's what we're doing. Yes, this is another sing-along. Wakey, wakey. This one starts low and slowly climbs the vocal mountain. As the voice gets higher, it gets louder naturally. Let that happen. Another inspirational song. Free energy. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky, and the sweet silver song of a lark. Just lovely, ladies. Walk on through the wind. Be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and never walk alone. You Very good singing. Right. You're clapping for yourself, right? I'm impressed. This is the best mass choir I've ever worked with. Brava, bravi, brave. Let's hear it, ladies. Doing it. I forgot to tell you about that artistic ending we had going on there. Good. I have a Rossini piece that I'd like to sing for you. I want to talk to you about my dissertation study. What's in the literature now? traditional music therapy plays music that you choose. It's like, I like Doritos, fried chicken, and chips and dip. That makes me feel really good. That's my preference. That's what I want. And I hate myself the next day. Blech. And if I weren't a musician, someone would say, well, what's your favorite song from the past? I used to listen to Let It Be from the Beatles. And Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I like that. I was 8. Friend of mine. I wrote a high school theme song for that. Newport News is a city. Always says go, go. I was, but, that is not what I need today. Sorry, folks. That's not what I need today. I appreciate that. I like that. I mean, and a medical musician, that's what I'm starting a field of medical musicians, performing level musicians who understand how music affects people and the physiology. That's the ticket to the brain. The brain has no feeling, gets it through the body, through physiology. One of the flower in the cake is heart rate. So what does that mean? At the subconscious level, rhythm talks to the heart rate, and we respond to that. And it either activates us, oh my gosh, that's great, I love that, ooh, ooh. Or like, oh, that music is, dun 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 dun, dun dun dun, bum bum, bum bum. So how to manipulate, group heart rate or individual heart rate that takes you either active or relaxing. That's the flower in the cake. Now, there's a lot of kind of cakes in my pastry shop, I'll tell you that much. So right now I'm going to sing for you Di Tanti Palpiti. It's a piece by Rossini. That would be number 1. A lot of action in this. More action for me, though.
Di tanti palpiti, di tante pene, date mio bene, spero merce. Ti rivedrai, mi rivedrò. Sarò felice di tante bene, il mio desio vicino a te. Mi rivedrai, ti rivedrò.
I used to sing this all the time. Passerò. Thank you. I used to sing that type of music a lot. Does it really have any therapeutic value? Well, it's entertaining. But it's same with the Carmen. It's entertaining, but, is it changing me? Is it transforming me or just kind of keeping me set? I believe that it's the latter. So, music as medicine. Now, in my dissertation study, which is coming up, I'm all but ABD, all but dissertation now. A very long and wonderful journey. Went to Johns Hopkins, had a triumphant year at Johns Hopkins. They were very, very supportive of this work. Doctors realize and recognize the power of physiology, your heart rate, your blood pressure, your cortisol levels, the release of dopamine, how much tension you carry in your muscles, et cetera, et cetera. What is measurable is what I have to work with. And then under the brain scan, there are other aspects of music. Like I say, music is free energy. It taps into our physiology and engages that physiology. Sounds like they're really busy back there in the kitchen there. And so they acknowledged that with a huge award. Everybody in the school knew I won that award. I was the only person that won that best practice. That means get that prescription iPod and a tiny, tiny little bit of medication to escort the exact outcome they're looking for and better with little to no side effects. So let me give you an example of the piano here. So who knows standing on the promises of Christ the King? Tum ta 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 tum pa pum pum pa. Standing on the promises of God. Standing. That's what we know, right? Standing on the promises of God, my Savior. Stand on the promises, guys, standing on the King. I'm standing on the promises of God. We all know that, right? That's a traditional hymn. There are a lot of traditional hymns, but there are also other versions of the hymn, like... Standing on the promises of Christ, my King, through eternal ages let his praises ring. Glory in the highest I will shout and sing, 'cause I'm standing on the promises of God. Standing, standing, standing on the promises of God, my Savior. Standing, standing, I'm standing on the promises of God. Right? What a difference, huh? Same tune, different, arrangement of it. And you can set the tune in the patient's voice range as well. I'm working with an app out in Los Angeles called Whirly.com, and that will do that. It's a kind of karaoke type app. Change the tune and the tempo, and it also records you too. You can put filters on it, have it with orchestra or piano or guitar. So it can really tailor that to your individual voice type. So awesome. Now there's and so I have numerous examples of that. In the hymn, I'm a church musician as well, so I'm continuing to do my studies within the church, which is a very interesting culture. All right, so let me look at my notes. All the amazing recent research, there's a lot of it coming. So welcome to the future and the power of music to transform us, our health, engage our health. Of course, we're probably pretty familiar with the knowledge, the fact that playing the piano increases mathematical abilities, coordination abilities, ability to focus. It builds the connections between the hemispheres of the brain. And you don't have to be Liberace to sit at the piano. I teach the Mozart effect. It's kind of like this. With students, they come in and they see someone who has played the piano. I'm like, wow, I can do that too. We have mirror neurons in our brain. We have neurons that when you're watching someone doing that, about 10% of your brain is actually doing it, like literally teaching you how to do it. And it's at a subconscious level. You don't even have to think about it. And so, but these kids, it's very naive in them. They come and they think they can play. And so their hands get all, they're trying to make it happen. And that, you have to undo that. Most good teachers, they have to undo habits when a student comes. Singing is very natural. If you can speak, you can sing. You're a very good example of singing today. Thank you. And but the Mozart effect, when I work with a child, it's if I can get them to play. Oh, they tuned it today. So it's not just playing the note; it's feeling it. It's letting it cycle through you. Don't forget the high note. Okay, so that's the idea that it's all of the sensory aspect of both. So you're buoyant, you're oxygenated, which gets rid of all the anxiety. Oh, I'll never play, I can't play. You do the action, aware of the sensory, and you can't, and you subconsciously transform from that. To me, that's one aspect of the Mozart effect. So that's what I teach to children. And if you plant the seed of a song, and take zero tension between your fingers, dum, bum, 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 about 90% of the brain that's out of your control, you're planting a seed in that part of the brain. And you can rest quite assured that you just planted some seeds, and you can plant some more seeds during your 10-minute piano session, and then walk away and say, "Ooh, I planted some seeds." And guess what happens when you come back to the piano? They've grown. They grow. This is what the brain does. This is the power of the subconscious brain. So I can talk for hours on this. I've got 18 years of, pedal to the metal research. So I'll bet you're getting hungry. So I've sung the main fare of the program here, and I'd like to end with a version of Amazing Grace. We know Amazing. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Can you get ready to start, Rick? I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. I once was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and that same grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour when
since the day we first begun, then since the day we first begun.
Thank you. We'll take questions now or later. You're awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. What an honor to talk with you today. We have another Linda. Were we doing questions?
If you'd be kind enough to write your questions down, there are pencils and papers on your table. The Horizon staff will collect them and bring them up to Linda. Thank you.
And there are business cards I have if you want to email me with your questions as well. Thank you, Linda.
Okay. You know, we're going to take some questions and answers, as you know, but as Linda was talking, I'm thinking, okay, the psychology of music, I've experienced it twice. One not so exciting in an elevator, because it calms you down, right? You're going up, you're going, it calms you down. But did you ever realize, nobody in here has ever gone shopping before, have they? Do you ever realize the music they play in the store?
Scary sometimes.
It slows you down, makes you spend a little bit more time.
Right, until you get to like the plastic and the things you really don't need aisle, and it just pick me, grab it. It makes you want to grab things. I noticed that in a store recently. Just the aisle of we really don't need any of this stuff. The music like peps up and says, "Yeah, get your hands going, get up there." They're very strategic. Where'd you go?
Okay, I have a few questions here. What is your opinion of school districts that cut funds for music programs?
They don't know what they're doing. Aging brain health. They don't know they don't understand aging brain health. And that's really my main field. Prescription iPods is a part of it. But aging brain health involves buoyant, oxygenated action. The stimulation enables this transformation. And the science behind, playing the piano is one instrument. Playing the violin, you actually grow the areas. The brain is like a muscle in that sense, that, repeated activation through music, performing, will make brain tissue literally grow and contribute to global abilities that are cognitive in nature. Like being able to think. Being able to be 60, we know we mature and we can have perspective, insight, hindsight. That is those are memories that work together to provide very strong answers in education.
Okay, this one's a very interesting one, right up Linda's alley. My sister had a stroke and can't form sentences or get words out. Right. But if I sing with her familiar songs, she can sing along. Right. Can we transfer that ability into speaking?
Yes, that's what we do. So, like I said, speaking is a very small part of the brain, and strokes are often affected. That part of the brain is often affected by a stroke, the speaking. We possibly overuse that because it's really such a teeny tiny part of the brain. So, singing activates this involuntary language network that I was telling you about earlier, and it also, many parts of the brain contribute to creating the rhythm of speech, for instance. So you could say have a stroke and say the rhythm, you can't say it. But if the rhythm of speech, you have a lot of extra help forming those words. And yes, it's a very important strategy to help stroke victims and children with aphasia and autism as well, other groups.
And that kind of, the next one says, can music lessons help children with ADD?
Oh my goodness. Well, it redirects their hyperactivity. So when you're sitting at that piano and you get engaged in one note and the teacher says, I want you to play each note for 2 seconds. Yeah, it gives them something to, a percussion. Drumming is very, very helpful in these children. Again, it pairs with heart rate responses at the physiological level. That makes sense. I don't want to get too complicated. But drumming helps a lot of children with ADD. They'll sit and drum and drum and drum because they need that energy and the feedback from the drums specifically.
Okay, time for 2 more questions. And this doesn't pertain to what you just did on the piano, but what was the name of the last song?
Oh, Grace. It was Grace by Mark Hayes, and a beautiful arrangement. He's my favorite arranger. So, of course, Amazing Grace. But in this album of songs, the river is wide, I cannot get o'er, la 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 la. He's setting Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Beautiful pairing of those lyrics that we're so familiar with another tune that we're familiar with that has this rolling river kind of effect. And to me, it is I can experience the God thing. I call it the God thing, to be scientific about it. And I look at that under the microscope as well, under the brain imaging. So that's Mark Hayes, Hayes, my favorite composer, arranger.
2 more I like, because the next one's a good one too. But I'm not going to read the last part of the question. I know that. You can ask her personally. But have you published a books where we can learn more? And the second part of that question, they just want to know how old you are.
Oh, well, that's okay.
That's what Wikipedia is about, Guy.
That's okay. And who asked that last question? I was thinking about that earlier. I need to tell. I'm almost 59 years old. Woo!
She's a youngin'.
I love to dance. Movement is the best thing for the brain. It builds and informs brain. So get dancing. Take your partners with you. And what was the first part of that question?
About any books or anything.
Books. No, oh my goodness. I have written so much. I mean, my work is done in this field. It's not published yet. Trust me, it's a 36-hour day job to get it done. And over the last 18 years, I got it done. I was at the top of my career. I saw the effect of music in dementia patients. I was singing it. I've been 8 times soloist at the Kennedy Center in the last 10 years, Strathmore, Royal Albert Hall, leading top roles all over the world. And I saw this effect. I'm a machine. I don't know if you noticed. I'm like a singing machine. I didn't really even get revved up here. But, and I saw this effect in these patients who were like insane, really having very many problems just 2 minutes before the music started. And I was like, I didn't even do anything. I just sat and played Amazing Grace or a patriotic song, and they just stopped everything, and it normalized them. And I thought, well, it dumbfounded me when I saw that. And that was in the year 2000. And that was the turning point. That career is eat you alive anyway. And so I am a scientist and a humanitarian. And I knew at that point I had to make this journey and that I was in a unique position to do it. And I believe I've done it. So it's, yeah.
Okay, and last question, because I find this so amazing that it brings, what do I want to say, the old world of anything from classical music. Music goes back so far to what Linda has developed in this iPod. The question is, explain how to use and get iPod YouTube thing.
Oh my goodness. That's a great question. And I was going to say, I'm not published, but I have a YouTube channel. If you put Linda Maguire sings or Linda Maguire talk, I have about 250 YouTube videos. So I regularly, pull out my camera, and when I've made a discovery, I'll sit down at the piano or do a lecture demonstration like I've done today, and just, roll out the next realm of instructional and, science-based instruction. And what was that? Is that part of that question?
They just want to know about the
yes.
iPod thing.
iPod thing. So it starts with your music preferences or a version of that. So if you like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but you get lethargic in the afternoon, you have to add a little snare drum to that, bump it up, and speed it up. So somewhere over the rainbow. We know that. But if you like that, so in the afternoon, we need a trumpet doing. So that's the beginning. That's the beginning. And so one very important thing, these great genius composers, Bach, Mozart, Mendelssohn, Haydn, what a flash genius. Their genius is in that music. And we can piggyback on that genius because the physiological effect of that music, if we let it, will put us right in their mindset. They had to be in they had to work this music through before they wrote it. And then when they wrote it, that represents the genius level point they got to in their compositional process. Back when there was very fewer distractions. We have a lot of distractions in this world today. So we can trust that some of these older compositions can build our own way of thinking. That helps me. When I started this journey, I played a lot of Bach. When I need it, I listen to Bach because his way of engaging in music and keeping that line going and making it complex, and it's free energy. I don't have to work to piggyback on his genius. I just let it come into my system because it will, and then it enables me to have long, complex, put it all together, all the little pieces together. Thinking. So I call it mastermind dispositional transfer. Mastermind parallel learning is what I call it. Mastermind transfer. Music can put you in Bach's mind or in Mendelssohn's mind, just as we can get in the Bee Gees' mind or the Beach Boys' mind, right? We can get there pretty easy because that's what we grew up with. That was in our... So, there's a lot of promise ahead, and the older we get, the more kind of we need it to kind of keep us rolling forward, I believe.
Thank you. Let's show our appreciation for Linda Maguire. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Fantastic job.
Very much. Stay strong. Thank you. Nice to be here. Awesome to be here. Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda, of course, is we're going to have lunch. But before we do that, let's quiet ourselves for a second and let's offer it up to the Lord. So, Lord, thank you for gathering us here again on this day. Thank you for people like Linda Maguire that understand through your creation there is music, there is talent, and every one of us own and have a piece of that talent. Help us to realize what that talent it is, but not to keep it to ourselves, but to share it. If we share this talent, we can bring smiles to people, we can bring smiles to others, and let it be contagious. In your name we pray, amen. Okay, the Horizon staff will be coming around and dismissing your table. Again, the same setup. We have buffet lines this way and out in our garden room area. So just take the direction of our Horizon staff and enjoy your dinner.